Thanks for meeting with me today, Ashley. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Great. I'm Sarah from the Draper office, and I'm the hiring official for the HR position, for the HR director position, and that'll be overseeing all the HR employees at the Ogden office. So I've looked over your resume, and I see that you've worked for Market Star previously for 3 years, and I just have a few questions to follow up with.
Okay.
Great. So tell me the difference between teamwork and group work.
Well, group work is really just a collection of people that are assigned to a task, and they work together to complete that task. However, teamwork is when that group of people, or a collective group of people, are committed to a goal, and they all have kind of the same commitment in wanting to complete this task or goal, and the same kind of drive.
Great. And which type of work do you feel is most important or productive?
I think it depends really on the task that is assigned. If it's something that is just small and needs to be done immediately, then group work might be a better thing if you don't want a lot of high emotions being involved. However, teamwork is really good for innovation and new ideas that are coming about.
So tell me about your greatest strength.
I am a team player. I'm a problem solver. I'm committed and I'm dedicated to goals and things that are going to allow companies to progress. I have really good customer service skills, and I am able to diffuse any kind of issues that come across with customers.
And so tell me about some of your weaknesses.
Sometimes I'm too blunt and honest. And that can come across when an employee or a coworker is maybe not fulfilling their part of the task the way that they had said that they would, or isn't sharing in the commitment that the rest of us have. That sometimes I will step up and say something, and I don't soften it enough at times.
So it sounds like you're aware of it. So how have you overcome that particular weakness?
Well, first of all, I'm not afraid to apologize. And so when I have overstepped and I have said something that isn't appropriate or maybe is a little too direct, I'm not afraid to go back and apologize for what has been said and try to reword it or correct the way I handled the situation. I'm very much okay with owning the fact that I went too far.
In your work, there's always obviously going to be some level of downtime, busy work, and there's a balance. So what would you do with your downtime in the office?
Well, I find that a lot of times when I get involved in projects and being able to be innovative, that things get out of control. They get a little unorganized and a little displaced as we really dive into these different tasks. And so on that downtime, I like to take that time to really get things back in order. This is where I will be able to get my emails caught up that maybe that can be on the back burner for a minute, and take care of some of my files and get them in order. And also I take that time to take on any extra trainings that have come that are new that have come up within the company, so I can stay up on what's going on with our company.
And how would you handle downtime for your team?
I think for the team, it would kind of be the same thing for them as well, that I would need to support them in making sure that they're also getting caught up on their files and their emails and things that kind of get pushed to the side when you're in the middle of the busy work and keeping going, but also allow them to be able to have team building moments as well as those trainings, because you need to be able to connect as a team to be productive and make sure you're on the same page and be able to share that commitment.
Dealing with different personalities within an organization, conflict is bound to arise. So how would you deal with it if you saw a coworker having an argument with, say, a customer?
If I saw a coworker having an argument with a customer, I would first take just a minute to listen to what the argument was about and how it was being handled so that I could gauge what I need to do specifically. Um, I would directly step in, maybe tap the coworker on the shoulder, say that they're wanted in the, in another area, and I would try to diffuse the situation myself, or even step up and say, "Hey, is there something that I could do for you or help you?" If that is the best way to handle it. So I would want to take the time to actually listen to what's being said before I jump in and try to get in the middle of it. And if needed, I wouldn't be afraid to go get even a manager if that was needed to be able to handle the situation.
And what if that person was a member of your team, someone you were supervising?
If it was a member of my team, I don't know that I would handle things any differently. As a team, our goal should be to be able to make the company be productive and to be able to have great customer service and have our customers come back. So if it was a team member, I'd probably even talk to them a little bit later and maybe say, "Hey, we could handle things this way or that way," and have us role play a little bit to learn different ways of handling customers that sometimes are on the difficult side.
And keeping on the theme of conflict, what would you do if you had inter team disputes and conflict between two team members?
I don't believe that conflict is always a bad thing amongst teammates. Excuse me. I don't believe it's always a bad thing amongst team members. Wow. I feel that sometimes that allows us to be more innovative and be able to be more creative and also allow a drive to happen. However, if the conflict is getting in the way of us progressing, then I would try to sit down. I would sit down with both of them and I would have them talk out both sides. We'd be able to listen to both sides of the situation and either learn to agree with each other and disagree, like, we can find that respect, or see if we can find a common ground so we can move on. But if the conflict isn't stopping the progression of our task, then I don't know that I think it's always a bad thing.
So this position supervises a team of HR employees. So how would you prioritize their work?
First of all, I would sit down and look at the tasks at hand. There are some things that are going to come up that are definitely in a time sensitive situation that need to be done immediately. And then there's other things that are going to they don't have to be done so immediately, but they're going to take a broader amount of time that we need to work on a daily basis. So I would want to prioritize that. Yes, we get the immediate stuff done, but then we're also making sure that we have time for the long-term things and we're putting our time into that as well. So hopefully we don't get hit on a consistent basis with things that have to be done immediately. However, we've already got things in motion that we're going along the way we need to. Does that answer the question for you?
Yes, it does. So how do you feel that you are a good fit for our organization?
I have a lot of skills that are great when it comes to customers as well as understanding employees. I'm very good at making sure that I can match an employee to a position that they will strive in and that they will be able to develop with. I have a very strong commitment to Market Star, and I want to see its success. So with that in mind, being able to match an employee that's going to bring that success to Market Star, I think is very important, because that's the goal, is to make sure that we are able to keep producing what is needed by our customers.
How do you see yourself fitting in with upper management?
I believe that I will be able to integrate in there just fine. I'm working with Market Star for some time. I have been able to develop pretty strong relationships with the managers, and I believe that we have a great respect for one another. We are very professional. They are aware that my desire is to make sure that their programs are successful and that they have the employees that they need and that they can be trained appropriately. So I feel as though as I take on a director's position in HR, that I will just be able to take what I already believed and integrate that into something that I will be able to pass down to those that will be my employees.
Great. Well, that's all the questions that I had. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, what is your expectations for the next 3 months, 6 months? What kind of expectations do you have for me in this position?
In the first 30 days, you should be expected to gain the basic knowledge of your position and also get acquainted with your team. So you're going to have, that transition period where you're getting your feet wet. After about 60 days, you should be fully functional member of the team and completely familiar with all the office functions. And then after about a year, we would expect you to be able to perform the job with limited to no supervision. So you'd be fully qualified to do all the tasks.
Okay. And then my next question is do you have any new programs that you are wanting to or any programs that you're wanting to tweak or even launch that would make the HR department stronger that maybe I can get some ideas on?
We're always looking to improve our current processes. And that's why we like to hire from within and from outside hires, because that way we get new ideas, but we also get the ideas from people who have been here and maybe seen something that they would like tweaked and that would have helped them do their daily job. And if moving into a supervisor position, you'll be in a place where you can affect that change more than just at the opening employee level, like the entry level positions more so. So we're always open to new ideas. We want to keep on top of our competition and stay current with all our training and programs. So we're always changing things and making improvements.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions?
That's it.
Well, it was really great meeting with you today. I'll be finishing up interviews this week, and I will probably be making the selection at the beginning of next week. So watch your email for that.
Thank you so much.
It was nice meeting with you, Ashley.
You too, Sarah. Have a good day.
You too.